Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our Upstate Senior Transition Masterclass. I'm Stephanie Burrows, your seniors real estate specialist with Howard Hanna Allen Tate here in the Upstate. When we talk about moving into a new chapter of life, one of the biggest pieces of this puzzle is finding a community that truly feels like home, somewhere vibrant, safe, and welcoming. That is exactly why I am thrilled to introduce today's special guest, Chris Dickinson, the community sales manager at Haywood at Barclay House, right here in our own community. Chris, thank you so much for sitting down with us today.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm really excited, trying to help seniors any way I can.
And to me, you are one of the most calming voices in the senior community space. Very calm. And I think
Thank
that's
you,
an amazing trait.
thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So now that we've thanked you for being here,
Yeah,
dive
yeah.
in, my friend.
Okay, okay.
One of the hardest things for our upstate families is just knowing when do we start the conversation. From your experience at Barclay House, what are two or three subtle signs that a senior family member might be ready to transition from their current house into a vibrant community such as yours?
Well, that's a very good question, Stephanie. I see a lot of things, and I talk to a lot of people about their parents and what's going on. A lot of times what happens if a parent's been living in the same area, the same house 30, 40 years, they've had a lot of good neighbors, a lot of good friends that have all lived around them. And of course, over time, they've moved out and new people have moved in and they don't have the same type of connection. So they feel a little bit lonely in that aspect. One of the things that a lot of people will start seeing is a decline in their parents' eating habits, and they'll start
Mm.
losing weight, or they may only eat one meal a day. And as we all know, we got to keep the nourishment coming in. So that is one of the things to be aware of. One of the other things that I guess is a key thing is you start finding them sleeping more and more.
Mm.
They may be sleeping in their recliner. They may not be getting out of bed till 11 o'clock in the morning. So they need some type of activity or a reason to get up and get out of bed. And nice thing is when they are in a community such as ours, there's a lot of things going on to keep them motivated, keep them up and going on a daily basis. So
Wow, those are two big things to watch for. So thank you for sharing that. Okay.
yes, yes, yeah.
A lot of families are completely overwhelmed because they think that they have to pack up, clean, sell the family home before they even come to see you. Can you bust that myth for us? And how does Barclay House help families handle the logistics of a transition while the home sale is still up in the air?
Very good question. I was just dealing with that with a resident this morning, actually.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, she moved in here. Her house is not sold, and I guess one of the things that we all have to remember, that is their home. And that's a big change for them, regardless of where they go to, or that's going to be a big change anyway we look at it. So the thing to kind of keep in mind, it is a challenge for them to give it up. No, they don't have to clear everything out and sell it and then move. The idea is, find a nice place they can call home, a new place they can call their home now. And it makes the transition a little easier when they're coming from the home that is still theirs, but now they're coming into a new home. We do have a lot of good referrals and resources that everywhere from excellent realtors which is
Thank you.
Stephanie here. Um, we have people who help plan the move. We have people that to even help with the moving. So the one thing I've learned being here is all these different resources will reach out. They will help our residents any way they possibly can. And 99% of them are going to go way above the call of duty to make sure everything's right for the resident. Um, Again, it's all about remembering that that is their home and it's a very vital part of them. So it's a challenge to make the transition.
I can't even imagine. I know a lot of people when they're moving and becoming a resident, whatever community, right? It's so hard to give up all of their stuff. It's like it might be stuff to you and me, but it's all of their memories are tied to those things. What do you do?
We and we talk a lot about this. It's you keep the memory. That's what you have to keep. That's what you bring with you. Yeah, you'd love to haul all those boxes into here and but think what's the memories that are in those boxes. That's what's the most important thing. And when you start talking about their memories, that is what they remember. It's not the boxes stuff. Those boxes just are the memories.
You're gonna make me cry because it's so hard, and I see it with my own parents, and oh gosh, you really got to me. Okay, so let's talk about peace of mind, what you bring to the table. Because when people hear senior living, they sometimes have this outdated idea of what that looks like. What is the one thing about the daily lifestyle, the community, and the energy at Haywood at Barclay House that completely surprises families once they actually move in or move a family member in?
Well, I did personally 8 years ago did the same search looking for a community for my mother-in-law. And I had the old feeling that, it's just, I'm putting her in a home and that's it. And then I started discovering what the independent living communities were like. And I was quite surprised. So, and every now and then I'll have somebody come in and, oh, well, this isn't the nursing home I thought it was. No, 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 no. One of the things that people are very surprised when they come into our community is how much of a neighborhood it is.
That's cool.
Everybody knows everybody. We all talk to each other. I have a group of them sitting outside my office right now, chit-chatting. There's some out on the patio or on the front porch because it's not too hot yet that are sitting out there just talking. They realize pretty quickly how much of the old neighborhood our community is. And one of the things I try to tell people is, remember this, we are all products of our environment. If this is the type of environment that you want to be in, this, you're going to end up like this. So it's very surprising to a lot of people what we do in our community for and with our residents. So
That is so cool. And Chris, so your community is independent living.
right.
And I know I didn't talk to you about this, so
Okay.
let's just go with it. Because there's such a big difference between what they can and can't do. You can drive in your community just a little bit so people understand.
Okay, so with an independent community, we are just that. Just like if your relative or we're going to go and rent a regular apartment, that is us. Difference is not only do they rent their apartment, but they get the whole building.
Nice.
And they get a lot of added things involved in that. But honestly, the biggest thing, of course, there's the food, there's the housekeeping, there's a lot of transportation, there's a lot of these things. The biggest thing that they gain in our community, though, is the socialization. Uh, for example, we have a group of residents that wanted to have a garden this year. We
Wow,
have we have about a half acre garden we built back in the woods.
you did?
Yes, we've
I gotta
got
come by.
you do. We got zucchini, watermelon, beans, peas. So yeah, when the residents have things like that, that's what we're after. We want to do this is their home, and we want to make it the best we can for them. And it's a
Oh,
matter of just listening to what they want. And we can't please everybody all the time, but we like to say that our goal is 95% approval rate.
that is so cool. And
Yeah.
I remember being there at one point when all of your residents, or a majority of them, were sitting down there talking to the chef and telling them what they want and what they didn't like. And I was just blown away because the chef just sat there and said, okay, okay. It was
Yeah.
very cool.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's our food for thought. And we do it every other month. And it is very neat because the chefs sit down and we get probably 90% of the residents involved in this because food, when I'm talking to a resident or a potential resident or family, there's I always ask, what are the three most important things to you and what is it you're wanting in the community? And this is something that everybody should be thinking about when they start looking at communities is what are the top three things they're concerned about? But most of the time I hear food in the top three.
It's
And
important to me.
I would be right there with them. Okay. So yeah, we do this food for thought. The chefs sit down and they take all the input from the residents. They get to tell them what they like, don't like, what they want more of, what they want less of. And the chefs take that into heart. They understand. After all, to the chef, the residents are their customers. It's just if they were running a restaurant, that is it. And so it's something that I feel is a big benefit to our residents, and it's a benefit to us to help us grow in knowing what the residents want and need.
I love it. I love it. I'm telling you, you are the most chill person, so calming. And I love it. I love the picture you just painted because it's not the nursing home that I, as a Girl Scout, went and sang
No,
Christmas carols at, right? It's a
right?
whole lifestyle. It's home.
Yeah. And that's a good example on our first floor going down the hallway. We actually have three artists that live here.
Cool.
And I did not plan this, but the first artist moved in and she said, "Can I hang a couple pictures out here in the hallway?" I said, "Sure." I moved, next one moved in right next to her, and she's an
Nice.
artist. I did not plan this. And she said, "Well, if Terry could hang her pictures, can I hang mine?" I said, "Ruth, go for it." So then, lo and behold, a third person moved in across the hallway, and Daniel is an artist as well. And now he has pictures hanging in the hallway.
You
And
have a gallery.
we look at it this way. In your home, you hang your pictures up, right? On your
Right.
walls. This
Right.
is their home. Um, and I take every tour, I always take them down and I show them the pictures, and they're gorgeous.
Aw.
And this is their home. We want to make it feel as much like their home, and do
Oh.
everything we can to help them make it that way.
Well, and not only that, but to see those pictures has to bring joy to your other residents,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. So,
Wow. Chris,
well,
you have been amazing today, and I thank you for sharing your heart and your expertise. I mean, I'm telling you, I hold you dear to my heart.
thank you, Stephanie. It's been a life-changing event for me to be working here at Haywood Estates, and uh, I keep telling them I'm going to work here till I retire. So,
And
you
then you'll
know,
be in hall
and
number
I'll be moving
two.
in. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. And for everyone watching at home, if you want to learn more about the incredible lifestyle at Haywood at Barclay House, or if you have a family that is ready to start having these gentle planning conversations, you do not have to handle that alone. You can reach out to Chris Dickinson at 864-414-5517 or stop by the community. He loves when you just drop in.
I do.
The address for the community is 1180 Haywood Drive in Greenville. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Masterclass, and we will see you on the next segment. Thank you, Chris.
You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. It's a pleasure.